Hey guys, and welcome back to another video of ECK Sports, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on the latest MLW series posted, Wildcats vs. Cobras. I'll just go over the series real quick. In game 1, it was 3-0 Wildcats. Jaxen Pearson hit a 2-run shot. Kyle Schultz hit a solo homer. Baranoski pitched for the Cobras. Kyle Schultz pitched for the Wildcats. And then in game 2, it was 2-1 Cobras. Drew Davis pitched for the Cobras. Nick Saylor pitched for the Wildcats. Drew Davis hit a 2-run shot. Jaxen Pearson hit a solo home. And then in game 3, it was a pretty crazy one. The Wildcats won 12-5. It was Kyle Schultz versus Drew Davis on the mound. Nick Saylor had 2 grand slams. Drew Davis had 2 home runs, 1 solo, 1 3-run shot. So crazy game. Let's get into my thoughts and takeaways. My first takeaway is that Drew has a ton of power and it's all the Cobra homers. Drew Davis this year has hit 6 home runs, which is second, and 16 RBIs, which is pretty high. So he has definitely done really well with the power, but he is the only one that has hit a home run on the Cobras roster. We know Durand has power, and I mean, we've seen Baranoski have power too, but it hasn't really shown. I mean, we'll see. I think Durand may end up hitting a couple. I think Sean may end up hitting a couple. The question is, can Drew continue being the only one with home runs? The answer is no. You have to have other guys. You gotta have at least 2 home run hitters on your team. And then the Wildcats are contenders. I mean, yes, they had a rough first series versus the Mallards, but again, the Wildcats are always bad in first series. In 2019, they lost the first series. In 2020, they lost the first series. And now in 2021, they lost the first series. But guess what? They are now 5-4. Saylor's having an amazing season. Kyle's having an amazing season. Pearson's having an amazing season. And while Kelly's only showed up to 1 series, he was very good in that series. The Wildcats were contenders last year. They're definitely going to make a push for the World Series again and the 1 seed in the AL. There still is the Preds, but I mean, I think they can still get the 1 seed. I've already mentioned it a bunch of times, but I gotta mention it again. And Nick Saylor's hitting. I mean, just listen to these numbers. This year, he's batted .306, which is low for him, 11 hits, 7 home runs, 21 RBIs, 11 walks, 468 on base, 889 slugging, and a 1,357 OPS. That is literally insane. Now, the RBIs and home runs, last year he hit for 22 RBIs and 7 home runs. Right now, through 3 series and an MLW season is 5 series, he has hit 7 home runs and 21 RBIs. So he is probably going to break his RBIs and home runs record. Not probably, he will. Now you have Austin Ford's hitting. And just as a player in general, he probably had like the play of the day, even though he didn't even catch it, because there weren't that many great defensive plays in this series. He did rob a homer, even though he didn't catch it. But when that's your highlight of the season, that is his highlight of the season, by the way. I mean, that's just bad. I mean, this year he's already struck out 15 times, and he's had 25 plate appearances. That is more than half the time. He also has 8 walks, which is a decent amount, but you know, it's okay. He only has 1 hit on the season in 6 games. That hit was against the Mallards. So you really have to start questioning, should the Wildcats keep playing Austin Ford? I did not like this move. Neither did Connor, neither did Dark. We all did not like the move at the time when they signed Austin Ford, and this season has proved that it was a bad move. I mean, he has not been good. He has a 419 OPS. I mean, you can't have that on your team. So hopefully the Wildcats just stick with Schultz, Saylor, Pearson, Kelly. Now you have a very interesting topic. You got Nick Saylor's pitching, because this year he's pitched to a 2.4 ERA, 18 strikeouts, 2 whip, and he's pitched in 10 innings. Also given up 15 hits and 5 walks. He is very accurate as a pitcher. I will say that. And if you look at his pitching statistics for the 4 games, well, really 3 games he's pitched in, he gave up 4 runs versus the Mallards, and then he's given up 2 his last 2 starts. He has been really good, and it's really been a pleasant surprise. Like, I didn't think Saylor was going to be terrible, but statistically, he is the second best second arm in the league. Now, we haven't seen Jonah Heath's second series yet, so maybe if Jonah has a bad series pitching, kind of like he did against the Gators, then maybe Nick Saylor will have the best numbers of a number 2 pitcher. That is crazy. I think the thing with Saylor is, like, when I watch him, I'm like, his balls don't move that much. His arsenals, he really just has a slider and a little bit of a riser. But, like, I don't know, man. I don't know why teams aren't hitting him. But I guess that's just how I guess maybe it's because he changes speeds, and, you know, you go to from Kyle in game 1, who has tons of movement, to then Saylor in game 2, who has a lot less movement, and that could be a big adjustment. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't really get why teams aren't hitting Saylor. But Jaxen Pearson, man, this guy definitely deserves to make the All-Star team, and I really hope he does. I mean, this year he's batted .286 with 5 homers, 12 RBIs, and he leads the Wildcats in both slugging and OPS. He has a 1,000 slugging and a 1,375 OPS. That is very, very good. And those two numbers are better than both Saylor and Schultz. And yeah, he's only played 6 games. He still deserves to make the All-Star team. And he hits the ball so far. I mean, it's so fun to watch him play. He has made some errors in the field, but he's also made some nice plays in the field. So I hope we get to see him in the All-Star game. He is one of the young bright stars in MLW right now. So Jaxen, if you're watching this, just keep balling out, man. I'd love to see you play. All right, now we got to talk about the Cobras pitching. So Brendan Baranoski has not started his MLW career well. He has given up 17 runs in 9.1 innings, which goes to a 5.46 ERA. He has a 2.9 whip, 22 strikeouts, and a very high 19 walks. Now, most of those walks came against the Gators, but he does have a walk issue, and I mean, his pitches aren't crazy in movement like we all thought they were going to be. I mean, he gave up a home run to both Pearson and Kyle and Saylor. So, I mean, was he really worth the #1 overall pick? I'm not sure. I mean, and then you got Drew. It seems like every series he's going to have a really good start and then a bad start, except against the Eagles, he was on fire both starts. But against the Wildcats, this series, he had a great start in game 2 and then a pretty bad start in game 3. And then against the Gators, he had a great start in game 1 and a pretty bad start in game 2. And this year, he does have a 3.23 ERA and a 2.43 FIP, 39 strikeouts, and 35 walks. That is a lot of walks. His walk issue has not gone away this year. And I know the offense is raised, so I remember I said before, if you have a below 2 ERA, you are a pretty good pitcher. But this year, I'm kind of raising that to if you have a below like 2.7, 2.8, somewhere around there. If you have a below there, you're really good. Because this year, the offense has been crazy good and crazy surprising. So do the Cobras need to look at pitching a little more as a question mark? I'm not sure. I think Drew is still a good pitcher. He has a filthy, sort of 12-6 screwball, whatever it is. That caught Saylor off guard a lot. That's why Saylor's average is lower than it usually is, because he just kept getting thrown those screwball / 12-6 drop, whatever you want to call them. So I think Drew's going to be fine on the mound. Brendan Baranoski, I'm not sure. All right, so that's going to do it for my thoughts and takeaways. My prediction for the next series is that the Diamondbacks will beat the Predators 2-1. I think the Diamondbacks are the best team in MLW. I think the Preds are the second best team in MLW. But the Diamondbacks are kind of a lot better than the Preds, I'll say. Just like the Diamondbacks are a lot better than anyone. I mean, maybe I start thinking about the Wildcats as the second best team in MLW, because most people have the Preds at #2, but maybe after this series, maybe the Wildcats now go to #2. We'll see about that. That video will be dropping next Friday, so it will definitely be an entertaining video to watch. And yeah, now let's go to my nuke and web gem of the day. See you guys next time. Peace.
Shot! Left center field! Forward! Oh, he dropped it! He dropped it! 10th pitch of the AB. Oh, swing and drive! Are you kidding me, Jaxen? Are you kidding me?